ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 Anime of the Year nominations episode presented to you by Honda. My name is Peter. I am the host of the What Do You Say Anime podcast, and on today's episode, we'll be going over all 13 nominations for this year's Anime of the Year. If this is your first time joining us, how Anime of the Year works is that we will have a voting period for a week starting today, and you'll be able to vote. For every vote that we get, we will be donating $1 to the Carolina Mobile Manga Library. Normally what we do is we reach out in some way to donate to a cause or something specific in the anime or manga community that helps out. Last year we donated a box set of Ouran High School Host Club to a local library here in Minneapolis, and just because of how that went down and the effort it took to donate a manga, I think this year is just way easier on us if we can just donate to a specific cause directly. So if you want to help out the traveling manga library from Carolina, vote today. So how our Anime of the Year works as well is that with our 13 categories, we will have a runner-up and a winner for each category voted on by the community, and then also myself, because I have to feed my ego some way of watching. I did 89 seasonals this year, so watched a lot. I have a lot of input on the year that was for seasonal anime, so got to do that every year. So it's really fun just to compare what I thought compared to the community and so on and so forth. So it's really fun. Before we jump into our nominations, if you want to support the podcast, the best way to do so is liking or subscribing, leaving a review if you are listening to us on a podcast platform or watching us on YouTube. Just like that helps us out. I don't ask for money. We don't have a Patreon. That's just the best way to support us. Also, if you want to talk to us directly, we have a Discord. The links are that in the description below. But without further ado, let's jump into our 13 categories for Anime of the Year. First up that we are going to get into is our Best OP. I should note that each category will have 6 nominations, except for Best Boy and Best Girl, which have 10. We've always done it that way just because it's so hard breaking down characters into 6 that we just ran with 10 because all the different input that we got throughout the year. So it's been like that since 2019, so we're going to keep doing it. So let's get into our best OPs. Your nominations are Idol from Oshi no Ko, Crack Crack Crackle from Undead Girl Murder Farce, Tombi from Trigun Stampede, Song of the Dead from Zom 100, Mellow from Skip and Loafer, and Innocent Arrogance from Heavenly Delusion. So normally what I would want to do here is give you clips and stuff, but when I ran my test, turns out YouTube blocks most of these songs, so I can't really show you, but I will in the description below leave links to those songs, so if you want to get a idea of what the songs are, you can check those out. Moving on to Best ED, we have Mephisto from Oshi no Ko, Without Love from Vinland Saga, Red Birthmark from G-Witch, Anytime Anywhere from Frieren, Like a Flower from Endo and Kobayashi, and More Than Words, which is the second ED of this year's Jujutsu Kaisen. Those are our nominations for ED. Moving on to our categories for shows, we will start with Best Action or Adventure. Your nominees are Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Jujutsu Kaisen, Heavenly Delusion, Trigun Stampede, One Piece, and Hell's Paradise. A very good year for action and adventure. This was a really tough one to actually break down into 6, but thanks to the input of our Discord and other Discords and other communities, we found a common ground, I think, with these 6. So apologies ahead of time if you're looking for a specific show and they're not on here. Something good's gonna get cut. There were more than just 6 good action or adventures, so this is what we came down to for our 6. Moving on to our best fight. What's a good action adventure without a good fight? Our nominations are You're in The Director versus the Baddies, On the Cruise Ship in Spy Family Season 2, Minato versus Uta from the Yuzuki family's 4 Sons, a great way of capturing adolescence in a very childish-like fight. From Wano, we have Luffy versus Kaido. This one was a little split because I don't watch One Piece, so I had to get the community's input, and it was either Kaido versus Luffy or King versus Zoro, and it was a very tight, almost 50-50 in terms of which fight people thought was better, but I got more votes for Luffy versus Kaido, so that's what we're going with. Next up is Fern and Stark versus Line and Lunger from Frieren, a absolute just banger fight from Madhouse. Choso versus Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen. This was another one where kind of split between picking one fight from a show and Jujutsu Kaisen having so many fights. Personally, I like the Sukuna versus Jogo fight a little bit more, but a lot of people just love the choreography from Choso versus Yuji, which I can absolutely agree with. But, you know, when you have like 7 incredible fights from this year, it's really hard to pick one, but this is the one that we're going with, so I hope you like it. And last but not least is Zhao Xianling versus Ma from Link Click Season 2. One of the best choreography fights, along with the JJK fight this year. Definitely a standout. So if you haven't checked out Link Click and you haven't checked out this fight, you should definitely look it up. Those are our 6 nominations. Moving on to Best Fantasy, our nominations are The Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Jobless Reincarnation, The Eminence in Shadow, Season 2, Candyman in Another World, and Campfire Cooking in Another World. This should be an interesting category because we do have heavy hitters from the past, like Jobless and Eminence, newcomers like Frieren and Sacrificial Princess, and sort of the lightheartedness of the fantasies with Handyman and Campfire Cooking. So it'll be interesting what people look for in their fantasy content and see what has won. In the past, we have had Jobless come in second before and Eminence, so maybe they will be battling out to see who's runner-up again this year. I have a feeling that Frieren might be a little stronger than the rest of them. We'll be interested to see what the community votes for. Next up is Best Drama. Who doesn't love a good drama? Your nominees are Vinland Saga Season 2, Oshi no Ko, My Happy Marriage, Link Click Season 2, Uku, and Gundam The Witch from Mercury, the second season or second part. A very wide variety of drama this year. We have something that deals with traditionalism and like My Happy Marriage, to something like character development and finding who you are with Vinland, to the meta commentary of idol culture in Oshi no Ko, the what if scenario of Uku if women ran the shogunate, and then G-Witch and Link Click with their just the intertwinings of the previous seasons coming together and wrapping up parts of their story with their drama. So a great year for drama. I'd also be intrigued to see what other people thought may have been left out, because this was one where I think I had like 13 written down and I had to narrow down to 6. So these are the 6 that I came up with, along with all the people who gave me input. So thank you everybody who gave me input. Best drama should be a fun watch. Next up is the best category of all time, Best Romance. Your nominations are The Dangers in My Heart, My Happy Marriage, Insomniacs After School, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at Level 999, Tomo-chan Is a Girl, and The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. Another fantastic category, thinking about what people are going to be looking for in their romance. Do people like the chase more than the conclusion? Do people like when they're actually developed, or do they like it when they are reaching for it? So this is a fun category. I love seeing it every year to see who comes out on top, because how I view romance is so much different than how other people view romance. So I think these are 6 fantastic categories, 6 shows that I thoroughly enjoyed throughout the year. This one's gonna be a really tough one to pick, just my favorite. So looking forward to seeing what other people vote for best romance. Next up is the second best category of the year, Best Slice of Life. Your nominations are The Yuzuki Family's 4 Sons, My New Boss is Goofy, The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Otaku Elf, Skippin' Loafer, and Insomniacs After School. So when it comes to like picking the genre for some shows, like Skip and Loafer, if you go on Mal, is labeled as a drama. I think most people that I interact with agreed that this season is more slice of life than drama, even though there was drama. So we felt it was better to put it in this category than say best drama, because I don't think it emphasizes as much as maybe later on in the story, especially if you're a manga reader like myself. I think that could dive more into that drama aspect. But I think slice of life is better fitting for something like Skip and Loafer this year, along with something like Insomniacs After School. We're not necessarily having the slice of life label on the show itself. The more mundane things that they did with Stargazing, to me and a lot of other people also felt that it was slice of lifey, so that's why we threw it into this category. If you based off like the Mal ratings, they only had like 7 shows this year labeled as slice of life, so we had to get a little creative. So hopefully these 6 nominations are something that people watch if you're a fan of this genre, and hopefully it reflects what the year was for slice of life. Moving on to best comedy. Your nominations are The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really, Really Like You, Horimiya, The Missing Pieces, My New Boss is Goofy, Spy Family Season 2, Mashal, and Buddy Daddies. A great year for comedy, and just in general, I had a lot of fun watching all of these shows. This one's gonna be really tough because some of the comedy is more laugh out loud, and some of it's more of like funny dialogue or the writing involved in the show. So be interested to see how other people vote for best comedy this year. I have a feeling that one of these shows is definitely a standout within the community, and we'll see if it's reflected in the voting. Next up is best suspense or mystery. This is our first new category of 2023. We had a lot of shows that fell into some different categories that maybe didn't max out like what it was trying to do. And we felt that suspense or mystery had a very large presence this year in 2023, and felt fitting that this is a category that we should add. Going forward, if the year doesn't have as many shows, this might be a category that can be mixed in and out. So your nominations for best suspense or mystery are Link Click Season 2, Undead Girl Murder Farce, Pluto, The Apothecary Diaries, Bungo Stray Dogs, and Miggy and Dolly. This is one where I've only seen a few, three and a half of these, so I'm gonna be intrigued to see how the community votes on it. It's going to be a very interesting battle for best suspense or mystery. So those are our nominations for categories. Now we're gonna move into the characters, and this is another new category that we have added. It is best non-human characters, a more fun list that we can get the characters that maybe were side characters or maybe not as stand out as like the main leads, but were still a lot of fun to the story, and I think brought a lot of comedy or slice of life aspects to their respected shows, or just context to more for their shows. So our nominations are Sui from Campfire Cooking in Another World, Ariel from Gundam the Witch from Mercury, Hakuto from My New Boss is Goofy, Yukichi from The Masterful Cat is Always Depressed, Emil from Shangri-La Frontier, and Geshekt from Pluto. These are your 6 nominations for best non-human. And we have a funny thing going on our Discord, like, well, Freeren's technically enough, she's not a human. Aizen's technically a dwarf, he's not human. We're trying to make it more fun with, like, you know, animals or slimes or AI, something along those lines. So that's what this category is kind of representing. So that's our nominations for best non-human. And getting into our last 2 categories of the year, we have best boy and best girl. Starting with best girl. From Tomo-chan is a Girl, we have Carol. From Oshinoko, we have Kana. From Skip and Loafer, we have Mitsumi. From Gundam the Witch from Mercury, we have Suletta. From The Sacrificial Princess and King of Beasts, we have Sarfari. Oh my god, I always slaughter her name. Seraphy? Let's go Seraphy. From Undead Girl Murder Farce, we have Aya Rindo. From The Apothecary Diaries, we have Mao Mao. From Freeren, we have Freeren. From Spy Family, we have Yor. And from Insomniacs After School, we have Moguri. These are our 10 nominations for Best Girl. And last but not least, we have Best Boy. Your nominations are Thorfinn from Vinland Saga, Bash from Trigun Stampede, Aqua from Oshinoko, Kyoka from My Happy Marriage, Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, Rintaro from 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really Like You, Akira from Zom 100, Suguru from Undead Girl Murder Farce, Gakuto from the Yuzuki family's Four Sons, and Senku from Dr. Stone. So those are our 13 nominations for Anime of the Year. Voting is live now. In the description below, there's the Google Doc. Fill that out. If you don't have an opinion on some of these shows, there is no selection, so you don't have to feel obligated to vote on shows that maybe you haven't seen. You can just skip those. So feel free to only vote on what you've seen or however you want to vote. It's all up to you. I want to say thank you to everybody out there who's listening. This is our 4th year doing it. It's always my favorite episode. The episode will be coming out in 2 weeks for Anime of the Year. You have 7 days to vote. 7. I will be pushing people to vote every day. So if you miss out, don't miss out. Be there, help out the community, help me out too, so I can get better input from the community on what they watched and what they liked. And you know what? That helps me. That helps gets reflected on me, so that I know what content people are enjoying, and it helps me just create the content in general. So thank you so much this year again. Yay, 2023 is over. Looking forward to 2024 as well. But before we jump into the next year, let's wrap it up and put a pretty bow on what 2023 was, and just celebrate a fantastic year of anime. So on behalf of me and everybody from What Do You Say Anime, I want to say thank you, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Anime of the Year. Peace.
Apparently you haven't heard of my Vote or Die campaign.
Vote or die? What the hell does that even mean?
What do you think it means, bitch?
Bye-bye! Bye-bye!